Hey there, everybody. Well, if you are looking for a great book to read this summer, and if you loved Anne of Green Gables, you are in the right place to hear all about Marilla of Green Gables. So, I had a video that I'll link on here about why I choose wholesome books even as an adult, and two of my subscribers had asked me for a book list. So the thing is, a lot of times I check out most of my books from the library, and I don't hold on to books. I pass them along to somebody else. I'm not really a rereader of books. Although after reading Marilla of Green Gables, I want to go back and read all of the Anne of Green Gables books. But my channel is really about helping women live intentionally right where they are. But I think this can tie into that, because what we feed our minds, what we read, what we put before our eyes, what we put into, our thoughts, what we model for our family, I think is really important. So I want to tell you about this book, and then you can decide if it's something you want to read this summer or not. But I'll tell you three things that I learned. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. Two things that I loved, and then what I'm reading next. So, three things that I learned. First of all is to tell the people that you love them. And second thing, sometimes it is too late for certain things, and that just broke my heart in this book. My oldest son, he was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "It's just the book." I said, I don't know. I really just felt with the main character, Marilla. And he said, "Mom, it's just a book." He had to remind me. But sometimes we can just feel so deeply for people, and we can kind of understand what they're going through. And then third, you can keep your promises to people, and they're without always excluding others, if that makes sense. So I don't want to give away everything from the book, but that was a big part of what happened in this story. Marilla had a promise to keep, and she wasn't quite able to let people in because of how difficult it was to fulfill that promise. But I think it taught me that, we have roles, we have things that we promise ourselves or promise other people, but there's actually people alongside of us who want to help us or be there with us. And I think it would be good, I'm talking to myself too, to let them, if it's something that they can be a part of, so that we don't kind of lose that piece. So those are kind of three things that I learned. And then two things that I loved. One, Sarah McCoy, the author of this, I just think she wrote this beautifully. So she wanted to go back before Anne of Green Gables and tell the story of Marilla. And she just wanted to do the whole story on her. And I think she did a fantastic job of that. So Sarah, if you ever see this, fantastic job. It really was a beloved and endearing story, and you did it justice. You wrote it very well, very beautifully, and I felt like I was there. So I loved that part of the story, that I just felt like I was part of it. And then and second thing that I loved about it was I just felt like I was stepping back into this world, and it just inspired me to I want to go back and reread the Anne of Green Gables series. I was doing some thrifting yesterday at several places, and I was looking for the VHSs, yes, the VHS, and the books, and I never did find them. I went to 3 different places, and I didn't find them in any of them. I didn't even look on Amazon, but I guess I can do that. And I think my library might have them too. So when I'm taking this one back today, so I'm going to check in there. But now let me tell you about what I'm reading now. And then if you want to stick around to the end, I'll talk just a little bit more about the story and why I chose the book. But I know that's not really fully what the video is about, so I understand if you got to go. So the book I'm reading now is Colleen Cobble. I think I'm saying that correctly. Tide Water In. It's a Hope Beach novel. Let's see, I am on chapter 17 of this book, and I already love it. I have to keep myself from binge reading, so typically for me, I read before I go to bed. It is a good way to kind of wind down. Some books I can just read a chapter and it's okay, but some books it's so hard to just put the book down, and even just 5 or 10 minutes of reading for me is very I don't know if therapeutic's the right word, but maybe that's the right word. So let me tell you just a little bit about this book. There's a young woman. I got this one from the library as well. It was in the Christian fiction section. There's a young woman who basically thought her father died when she was 5, and turns out he was alive all this time, and her mother was just keeping her away from him. I don't know all the details of that. There might be more to that to come, but he loved his daughter even though he wasn't able to be a part of her life, and he left her this beautiful place here. And she's kind of a historical historian of sorts, where she restores historical buildings, but in the process of finding out he's was alive but actually just passed, he left her this inheritance of this place. She finds out she has family on her dad's side, so she's eager to meet them. They're not eager to meet her because she has something that they want. And there's some mystery. Her business partner gets kidnapped. They're trying to find her, and there's just there's going to be some love story to this. A nice young man she meets. They find out they're both believers, and I love this so far. So when I'm done reading this, I'll kind of maybe let you know the same things, what I loved, what I learned, and what I'm reading next, because there's always a next. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Marilla. Why this ties into the video I did about why I choose the books that I do. So this one was displayed in the front case. Well, not the front case, but there's just like a wooden bookshelf in front of where I check out at the library. So I always I scan those books first to see kind of what they're promoting. And when I saw of Green Gables, I was like, I have to read this book. And knowing the Anne of Green Gables series, I already knew that was just a beautifully romantic, I say romantic, I mean wistful maybe, story. So I knew that this would be a clean book, a wholesome book, not necessarily like biblical teaching, but you can always view it through a biblical lens if that's what your goal is. But I knew that it would be feeding me and not taking away, and I knew it would pour into me and not take away. So that's one of the reasons I asked the librarians right away. I'm like, oh my goodness, have you read this? I didn't even know there was another one. Neither one had read it at this time. So I brought it home and just fell in love with this. But Marilla will just capture your heart. What I loved about her was her commitment. What hurt me was just that she was so hurt, and when she finally was kind of ready to open up and these things, it was just too late, and it hurt my heart. So I felt really bad for Marilla, but Marilla was a wonderful daughter. She was a really good sister. She was really great in her community. She was smart. And it teaches you that you don't have to speak a lot to make your point known. I think that was so good. But I definitely recommend this book if you have time this summer to read, even if it's just a chapter here and there. Marilla of Green Gables is a great one. Sarah McCoy did a wonderful job writing this. And the reason I'm sitting right here, in case you're wondering, I do a lot of my videos from right here, especially my Bible reading, but I will pull over this other chair here, prop up my legs, and read. I have a couple other go-to spots for reading as well. But all good. So I think I'm rambling at this point, and go get this book. Maybe your library has it. I recommend the library. Go to your Christian fiction section. If you want some tips on how to find a wholesome book, one, a lot of times you can tell by the cover, but not always. I've definitely seen books that young ladies are reading that the cover looks fine, the title looks fine, but what's inside isn't for God's glory and isn't feeding into them biblical truths and perspectives. So look at that. I always like to read the storyline right here on the inside while I'm actually, still in the library. I like to look through that. I like to look at what people say. And like with Colleen, this book I'm reading now, I wasn't familiar with the author. I thought the story looked good. I knew that it was in the Christian fiction section, but I read books outside of that section too. Something else that I do, and I did this with her as well, I'll just search the author and, or ask ChatGPT, tell me a little bit about Colleen Cobble, and it'll give me some facts. And, I might even say, what kind of stories do they write? Are they clean? Are they wholesome? Are they uplifting stories? And that'll help me make a decision as well. And then if you don't want to go through all that, you just want to get a book and get home, if you start reading it and there's some just things in it that are, unsettling to you or not settled with your spirit, close it and return it. It's as simple as that. It's like turning the channel on the TV or turning something off. It's okay to do that. You don't have to finish the book just because you checked it out. You need to choose. So that is it. Have a great day, and I'll let you guys know. I know this isn't a list, but I thought this might be an easier way because I get the books, I return them, I don't remember the title and the authors a lot of times. So I'll just tell you about them as I go through. I don't know how long we'll do this. It might just be during these summer months when the days are longer and my schedule's different. My work schedule's different. So have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.